Numbers, data, computing failure. Y2K. A virus that threatens our society. By the year 2000, we could face total economic collapse.
It's all going to
How will you survive?
All my money was in the bank. Now I gotta give my stepbrother just to get by.
We had no food stored. My roommate died of starvation. I need his brain to survive. The power's been gone for weeks, so I had sex with the copy machine. Damn you, Y2K!
If only I'd been prepared.
If only I'd been prepared. If only I'd been prepared.
Don't let this be you. Prepare for Y2K the right way by watching these videotapes.
But first, a message from our sponsor.
Oh hey, I'm just here in my underground bunker waiting out the apocalypse. You know, the guys at the rental store laughed at me when I said Y2K20 was on its way, but I'll be laughing last. In the meantime, I'm downloading audiobooks for me to listen to from Audible. Audible has the world's largest selection of audiobooks and audio entertainment, including Audible originals. And with the Audible app, I can listen anytime, anywhere, and on any device. I plan to listen to Audible when I'm looking for food, searching for survivors, or fending off roaming gangs of cannibals. Months back, I listened to Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep to prepare for the Blade Runner review. Now I'm listening to Cormac McCarthy's The Road, so I can get an idea what life will be like when I'm wandering the post-apocalyptic wasteland looking for supplies. Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial. Choose one audiobook and 2 Audible originals absolutely free. Visit audible.com/Cinemassacre or text Cinemassacre to 500-500. Enjoy Audible today. I gotta get back to boarding up these windows and doors. Bye!
Holy shit, welcome to the year 2020.
Yeah. Well, coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, Y2K plus 20. Well, it's finally here.
20th anniversary of the Y2K bug.
Right.
The Y2K scare, the Y2K glitch.
Y2K
what was it?
Hoax is more like it in my opinion.
Yeah, if you want to know what it was bullshit. Yeah. And even then, I thought it was bullshit before it even happened.
I was scared of it, man. Yeah. Fucking Best Buy was putting stickers like, make sure your computer's off.
Yeah. Well,
you know.
to explain what happened, like, so basically, like, you know, my first time hearing about it, it was explained like, okay, well, you know how we've only used 2 digits for the year. So right now it's 99, but then it's going to turn to 00. And when it becomes 00, the computers aren't going to know what to do. And there could be all kinds of glitches. They're saying like, okay, like ATMs might not work. And like, medical equipment might not work. And they basically didn't know. It was like kind of like, well, anything could happen. We don't know. And I'm like, well, I think it's just the computers are just going to go to 0. That's just all it is.
Well,
it's just like,
thankfully they made all these lovely tapes and survival guides and all sorts of shit, or to scare the crap out of you.
Yeah, which I didn't
buy more shit.
Yeah, I didn't know about all that, but I mean, watching that really brought me back, though, because everybody was talking about the Y2K bug, and I was always just like, oh, come on, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Where my only personal story, I remember, here's what I was doing on the turn of the millennium. When the ball was dropping for 2000, I was having a party at my house with my friends, and my sister was having a party with her friends. So it was kind of like 2 parties. It was like a boys' party and a girls' party, both going side by side. And we thought, just to be funny, like, let's play a prank on them. That's what they always did in the movies and stuff. So we're like, okay, how about as soon as it turns to 2000, we're going to shut the power off in the house. So
like at the breaker?
Yeah, at the breaker. Okay. So basically they were watching it upstairs, 2 floors up, and I was in the basement, and then one of my friends would be keeping an eye on the TV to like shout down at me like when right when it turns to 2000. So that's what I was doing when the ball dropped. I was in like a corner of my basement.
You're scaring people.
Yeah, like at the circuit breaker. So as soon as the ball drops, I hit the switch, all the power goes out, and then And then, my sister is just like yelling at me and everything. And then I'm like, oh, it's the Y2K bug. I think that's what it is. She's like, you piece of shit. Like it didn't fool her at all.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
okay. There was no anarchy.
Yeah, and I shorted out all the
like,
electronics in my house and destroyed everybody's stuff.
Yeah, she was like, you asshole. I'm like, no, I think it was the Y2K bug. Well, why isn't the bathroom out? It's like, oh yeah, I missed that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, so, okay, I was looking up if anything actually did happen on the year 2000 as a result of this glitch.
Okay.
And there's an article in National Geographic that said, in the end, there were very few problems. A nuclear energy facility in Japan had some of its radiation equipment fail. I was like, what? I was like, okay, very few problems. That sounds like a very huge problem.
Yeah.
But backup facilities ensured there was no threat to the public. But I don't think it was connected to it, but still, if that was connected to the Y2K thing, then I stand corrected.
Yeah.
But also, I was just wondering, like, okay, does this mean every time when the digits are going to roll over? Like, in the year 1900, obviously nothing happened because there was no computers or anything. But does this mean, like, as we go further and further
No,
in
they
technology,
figured it out.
Yeah,
It's not a...
apparently.
Why do you think the year fucking 2099 rolls over?
Well, I know actually there's a year 2038 bug that's supposed to happen.
What?
So we'll get back to you in 18 years with that one.
Oh, jeez.
2038
Because it has something to do with the 32-bit, like anything that's 32-bit is going to like break down. Something. I don't know the technical thing.
My PlayStation 1.
No, not like that.
And my Game Boy Advance.
For a guy who talks about bits, I have no idea what a bit is.
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't
but
either. I like, though, on the back of this tape, it says...
So
at midnight on December 31st, 1999, due to a serious lack of forethought beginning decades ago, an unknown number of computer programs and microchips will revert back. Like, so it tells you, like, this is gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's motherfucking Leonard Nimoy telling you that. Spock!
Leonard Nimoy hosted the Y2K Family Survival Guide. Now, I feel like Leonard Nimoy would host anything. Like if you just pay him, like,
sure.
I mean, during his lifetime, like he hosted a lot of things.
You think he
Seaman?
was? Yeah, I was gonna say he was probably doing Seaman at the same time this was happening.
Wow.
Actually, yeah.
It's 1999, so he had to. It had to be around the same time. It was like 2000. Yeah, it was like it had to be like 99, 2000. So he probably voiced it like not too long before.
Yeah, and it's fucked up because it's family survival guide.
I can imagine he's like they're like, yeah, we want to get you for this upcoming game we got coming out in like year 2000. He goes, well, I wonder if it'll even work on your modern Dreamcast or anything.
Oh, because the Dreamcast shut down
it's
in
gonna
2000.
have the 99 or whatever.
Rather, we are now facing very real global issues related to power supply, satellite communications, water, healthcare, transportation, distribution of food, and other items vital to everyday human survival. These global issues are the direct result of an equally real human oversight many people now refer to as the Y2K, or year 2000 problem.
Even in the movie Office Space, Mike Judge put it in, like, that's what Initech's working on. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get rid of the bugs. They're like shipping out units that fix code, you know?
Yeah, so let's see. The notes I have on this one, well, there's a guy with no eyebrows in it, I think. Or like,
the reptilian guy.
Oh.
I was like, he's a reptilian.
Or it's like the shot is overexposed or something, but it just looks like
he had like no hair whatsoever. He was just
He was President Clinton's fucking year 2000 czar. So it was his job to make sure the government was ready for the fucking shit. And they had like this whole thing where they made a report card of all the government agencies. Yeah. And like half of them fucking failed.
Yeah, it was like F everywhere.
Fucking NASA got a C+. NASA got a C+. Not good.
Well, there was like a job title in there where it said Y2K conversion specialist. I'm like, was that an actual job title?
Yeah,
all of those people are. I really wonder like what the hell they're doing now, because it's like you jumped in. You're like, this is going to be my career. I'm going to be a Y2K guy. It's like, okay, well, enjoy that job for the next 8 months because.
They moved on to .com stuff, and then the bubble.
Maybe
burst.
that's the thing. They're like,
it was a fucking
the
mess.
The 2038 thing is them trying to get a new. They're like, the 2038, it's going to happen. I swear to God, this time.
In the video, he starts talking about Atlantis and how Atlantis was probably a thing that was taken down by its own technology, much like we will with Y2K.
Oh.
And I was like, did you just say fucking Atlantis was taken out by Y2K or their own Y2K?
Wow, that would have been the. Wait, hang on. I actually can figure this out. It would be the. Oh my God. I think Atlantis was okay. Atlantis was supposed to be, I think, 11,000 years ago because it was like 9,000 years before Plato's time. Plato's time was like, I think it was in the AD area, but like very, very early. So like you could almost say, I forget the exact math, but we could call that the 9,000 BC bug.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
It's like, we're switching to AD instead of BC, and I'm going to lose my bank records for my Atlantis money.
Yeah, the only thing weird was that then I had to write my checks with 00, and because I was to do 99, and it's like, okay, maybe that was kind of weird, but I was like, this isn't going to break anything. But anyway. There's like this one part where they're like, they have all this optimism, like they're saying like, well, without technology now, we're going to get back to what's at the heart of humanity. And they're kind of just looking at it from this positive point of view.
And meanwhile, nowadays we have strayed so further.
Well, the tape's fucked up because it also says like, and just in case something happens, all the water's not going to work. You won't be able to get your medicine. They won't give you extra medicine because of the goddamn laws. Like, you go into that.
Yeah. That's the thing. They're telling you to stockpile medicine. So we were like, imagine that person like, I need 8 packages of this of morphine or whatever. It's like, no, we're not giving you that.
You can't get a prescription like for
like extra
a certain amount. It's
And at the beginning, fucking Leonard Nimoy is talking about like how the only way to describe or explain Y2K is with chaos theory, like Ian Malcolm and fucking Jurassic Park, dude. Like you're like, can you just chill with the scare tactic?
They actually say at 30 minutes 55 seconds, I've written, they have one of the greatest dilemmas facing humankind.
Holy shit,
dude! Y2K, one of the greatest dilemmas facing humankind.
The only thing I think it actually really affected is if you play a copy of Fatal Fury today, at the end of the game when you beat Geese Howard, it would give you the date of when you beat him, but it would always have like 19 and then whatever the number was after. So if you play it nowadays, it's like, it tells you the date. So it would be like on December 17th, 1919, Geese Howard was defeated. And I was like, I didn't realize that game took place in the, like before the 1920s and everything, Fatal Fury was happening. But yeah, that's the only thing that I know nowadays still deals with even if you play it on the Switch too. Or like I was playing on the PC or something, like a new version of Fatal Fury will still do that. As long as it's hooked up to a date.
Interesting.
Huh.
And then I like there's all these. Eventually, they start going into home prep, like preppers. Like in 2012, like the world's gonna end, or there's gonna be like nuclear attacks and stuff. You can put duct tape on your window.
Yeah.
Remember all that?
The nukes are gonna go. It's 1900. I haven't been invented yet, and explode.
Or no, this is like more recently. It's like they're worried about chemical attacks and dirty
they're
bombs.
saying like planes are gonna have problems because there were no planes.
Yeah,
like,
I said that. I was like, they're gonna turn into Wright brothers planes. Just the jumbo jets are just gonna go.
It's like 0-0. I can't exist. So
they just phase out of reality. All the people drop out of the air.
But then it talks like the second half of this tape is more just general survival. Like there's a guy talking about water. He's talking about how to save it. He's talking about putting buckets under downspouts so you could save water. And he's like specifying like, oh no, this isn't just to drink. This is water for like bathing, for anything else.
The toilet,
And then I'm going through this, and then I started to forget I'm watching a Y2K video. Like this is just like a general survival.
It's like general power out.
The sad thing is all those things like collecting rainwater and shit are illegal in America. Like you can't collect rainwater.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not allowed to. There's actually even people in Philadelphia that had like their own home gardens and stuff like that in their front yard where they were growing stuff, and they were asked to take it down by like the government, like the town government comes in because you're not supposed to like grow your own shit. They want you dependent on supermarkets and the water companies.
That's the reason.
They do that. I'm telling you. There's there's a farmer out in like middle America who was fined all of this money for collecting rainwater, and he got to a point where he was like facing down, U.S. Marshals with rifles and stuff like
Jesus.
that because you cannot collect rainwater.
I want to collect some fucking rainwater.
I know, right? It's fucking crazy.
Everyone get your fucking...
You're like not allowed to grow crops unless you are like a registered all these things.
like
if you
farmer
like
or
if you
some
do all
shit.
that stuff, like you can't do it. And then they can even shut you down if you have a Monsanto seed in there. Let me tell you, people.
In the future, we won't need to eat that shit because we're going to eat taco and blueberry pancake.
Yeah, cans of taco and
In the
blueberry
back
pancake.
in one of the videos, there's a guy with these giant cans that just say Future Foods, blueberry pancake, taco.
Yeah, and it's not even plural.
Like, what does that mean?
Taco in a can.
It's one big pancake.
Wow.
So
In
what
a
happens?
cylinder.
Like it comes out like a fucking Thanksgiving Day like cranberry thing, and you
Yeah.
just have to saw it off.
Oh, it slides out of the can like in the shape of a taco and everything.
Yeah.
One pancake.
Oh man.
And then there's a guy with a giant red phone, or where it's like the perspective.
Yeah, the way they filmed it, the perspective made it look like he has this huge fucking red phone on his desk. And and then he has another phone next to him that just has like 800 buttons all over. And I was like, this is the one I call my friends with. This is the one I call the fucking Bat Cave. My giant,
Yeah.
like it looks
In his
like he
war
would
room.
hold it up and it's like, hello,
And
like
he's
this
like,
novelty
the
phone.
fucking like emergency management from Nashville.
They're all too like way older than they should be to be working on it. Like they're all like. The guy who was like they showed talking about it on C-SPAN is like probably 70 something.
Oh, the Republican from Utah.
Yeah, the
in
Republican.
1999.
He's like, great. If we get these computers going back, what are we gonna do?
Full of tubes. Don't.
It's a series of
Make sure
tubes.
you're not getting an MRI when the date changes.
Yeah, it's
over.
just gonna blow you up. It's gonna turn you inside out. Like you're just gonna turn into an inside out mess. Like Inside Out Boy, actually.
Well,
It'll
let's
be like
pass that next one down.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
definitely the lesser of the two.
Speaking of home prep.
No Nimoy, and it doesn't even really have much of a title. It's just called Practical Solutions for Home Preparedness. Preparedness?
Preparedness.
Preparedness.
I never
said that before.
I never have said that. No. Preparedness.
The state of being prepared.
Yeah.
Preparedness.
Well, the tape's a fucking liar because then when you open it, it says Y2K year 2000 Crossroads.
Oh. What?
It's like a different title.
Wow.
And then when you watch it, it says year 2000 Crossroads, proceed with caution, and now it's all traffic themed.
Yeah, it has like the horrible 3D car driving on a map.
Yeah, because when you look at it, there's like a house on it. You think it's gonna be like, do this or do that. It's just some fucking lady talking for an hour.
It's like a middle-aged mom who's like, everybody, the Y2K.
She looks like the fucking mom where I'd go over a kid's house in like 1999 and he'd still be playing an NES and it'd all be like educational games.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
It'd be Lightspan Adventure.
Exactly.
Well, the one thing too, she says like, what was she saying? Like, if you call the food companies to get the real expiration date of all your foods. Could you imagine that fucking phone call?
Oh,
it's like, that lady's calling again about Y2K, asking us when her fucking beets are gonna go bad or whatever. Creamed corn is expired.
I don't know. It's misleading.
And it begins with this disclaimer. Like there's this big disclaimer in the beginning that basically says like we're not responsible for any of the information here. Like basically just don't take any of this to heart because they don't know what they're talking about.
I think they just filmed this lady at her weird sewing circles where there's a guy sitting in a lawn chair, and they filmed her at some college thing where she's talking about shit, about prepping for it, and then nothing happens. And I looked it up because I looked up all the stupid websites and Wayback Machines and stuff. Like, it happened, and then she came out and said, oh yeah, oops, I guess we thought, it's better to be prepared, you know what I'm saying?
LOL.
Like, oh yeah, are you gonna give money back for this fucking, this $8 checkbook you're fucking giving away? This workbook?
Wow.
Oh, plus $4 for shipping? You fucking
the thing
asshole.
is too, like, I mean, back then, not everyone could just make a videotape and have it widely. Like, it's not like YouTube where I can make if Y2K was around, I can make YouTube videos about it and anyone can do it.
You know who's fucking making this? Goddamn Scimitar. If you see the Scimitar logo on a tape, you're seeing shit.
Yeah, what was the other one you were saying?
Where's Fast Cars?
Oh, Fast Cars and Beautiful Women.
Fast Cars and Beautiful Women. That it's like women and Ferraris and all that, and there's a DeLorean in this for some reason. That's a Scimitar tape too. If you see the Scimitar S, you're in for some shit.
They go into detail on this one. Like this one, I think really lays it down. Like it says, okay, electricity could go out, gas pumps might not work, ATMs might not work, might be without water, payroll's affected. I mean, it's so generic because the fact that nobody knew what would happen.
Yeah,
so
they said 2 to 7% of the processors might fail. That's what the lady says. But she's like, you don't know what they are. It could be in the water pump, could be in your fucking,
and
heart
there were,
monitor.
Like,
You
they
don't
said
know.
there was like 7 to 10 billion processors out there, so 2 to 7% of that or whatever is, like several 100 million or something.
And then there's like talking about the fuel. Now they go into so much detail. They talk about the different types of fuel, how to store fuel, and they be like, oh, by the way, if you're storing a lot of fuel, don't keep it in the house. Like, yeah, no shit.
No, because the people buying this tape, you have to tell them that.
Yeah.
Like us, no shit. But there's some guy like, oh, I gotta get a bunch of gasoline stored in the basement.
Yeah, and then also the thing in the beginning saying like, the disclaimer, like don't actually, take all this like to heart what we're saying. So then it's like, are you saying like to actually store the gas in the house?
Yeah,
like,
right.
What do you mean?
Yeah, which ones are we not supposed to listen to?
Because you really shouldn't store fuel in your house. That's a bad idea. So, and then there's a part talking about how you might be without electricity and everything's going to be dark. Okay, so then they start going into detail explaining why we need light. And she goes, light is how we see. Children are afraid of the dark.
Oh, no.
No, it's fucked up because it says in there, like, you can start playing with your kids in the dark with, like, flashlights and stuff so they get used to it. I'm like, that's fucking frightening way to think. Yeah, get used to it, kids, because the fucking world, like, Snake Plissken might turn it all off. And
right?
And there's about practicing without electricity. Like, all right, you might want to practice. Just shut out all the electricity in your house. I mean, that's not a bad idea. Everybody should have an experience, like, without electricity.
It's kind of like a fire drill.
But I mean, in the summer when the power goes out, that's about all I want. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because it happens. It's going to happen every summer or winter sometimes.
That's the kind of family in the neighborhood that the other neighbors are like, don't go to that kid's house, please. Like, he can play over here, but you can't go over there.
But I mean, but it does make you think. It's like, sometimes it is kind of fun without electricity because then you can't rely on like gadgets and electricity, and you kind of have to come up with your own entertainment, or like you have to sort of like you start thinking more about like flushing the toilets and things like that. But this is just about like 2 digits are gonna roll back to 0, and then you better get ready.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I guess back then, they didn't have iPhones, so it's like, what's really your Game Boy isn't gonna work anymore. Your Sega or whatever.
So I'm going through my notes because like this, how I remember all this shit. At 30 minutes and 12 seconds, they explain how to shit in a bag and use bleach on it.
You better not. So what happens when you're done? You store it with the fuel in the fucking taco can? Like, what do you?
Yeah, and then they're like explaining like why you shouldn't do it in the ground because it could contaminate and everything. Yeah. So they're like, shit in a bag and use some bleach on it. Over 2 digits changing from 99 to 00.
Oh my God.
The problem with the 55-gallon drums is that they're easier to neglect because if you don't have a siphon filter or 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 a siphon filter.
I mean, some of these are good ideas for general purpose, I guess. I mean, I guess it's good to have survival skills. Oh, and yes, I did write down the cheap car animation. That was great.
Yeah, the cheap car animation was definitely what made it for me.
Yeah, because it looked like DMV stuff, like, how to drive a car kind of shit. Like, turn left at, the right of way.
The backgrounds were weird because they were like hand-drawn, crappy backgrounds.
Proceed with caution if you want to watch this fucking tape. And I forgot if I said yet, but all these tapes, I scanned them all in, I captured them all, and I took pictures of all this shit. They're all in the description if you'd like to watch all these. Force your friends to watch them. You can have a 2000 party. Watch them down.
Maybe, that would be fun.
Because these are about prepping. Like when shit goes down. This movie is about when shit goes after shit goes down.
So this one is because these were like documentaries. This one is a narrative movie.
Horror.
Y2K, Year to Kill. So first of all,
before that, I want to say thanks to let me see. Thanks to Maitraya Andrews for giving me this tape. He sent it to me. He said I think we're at Portland Retro or something like that. He's like, hey, something about Y2K. I'm like, oh, we're doing a Y2K episode. He's like, well, I have a horror movie. I'm like, what? And I never heard of it before. But apparently the fine people at Albertsons grocery store did because they were renting this out. So this thing's like kind of a mess, but thanks for that. So now the world gets to see it. And I've seen this thing on eBay for some reason, from anywhere from $150 to $400. I guess because it's really rare or really stupid.
Wow.
So if you'd like to buy one of these, go ahead.
Oh, also, you forgot to mention it's Y2K Year 2 Kill.
Oh, that's Y2K Year 2 Kill.
Yeah.
It's pretty,
That's the acronym.
let me tell you, they thought this one out.
Yeah, they did. It's so rare, like even a Google search turns up like barely anything. This is like somebody's home movie. Like it looks like a high school film.
Yeah, it does. It looks like the movies you make with your buddies. As like a, well, yeah, you made like a ton of them with your friends. Yeah, it's close to that.
Yeah. I mean, and this was in, I guess the year 99, I guess. And, it's definitely a time capsule. But here's the thing, though. It's like, I don't think it's much of a Y2K movie. It seems like they kind of slapped that idea on later, which is kind of a shame. Like, it seems more generic, and then the Y2K reference seemed like they were added in.
I never noticed that because I would say 95% of this movie is ADR'd as bad as possible.
Yeah.
To the point where I think they got random other actors to voice other people because it's really obvious. Like
it's never in sync, and the voices do not at all match who they're supposed to be and stuff.
Especially that guy with the gun in the beginning. Who's like trying to.
He's like, "Are you Y2K compliant?"
The whole fucking world boiled down to a chain of ones and zeros, and then the chain stopped. The pattern in the fucking disease was technology, not the millennium bug. It cured itself. Life is finally on its way back to where it started. No fucking computer programmer's gonna fuck with nature.
It's like 10 minutes of commercials. And there is this one trailer that starts off with a robbery in a Blockbuster video. And
it's a hostage situation.
It's straight up a Blockbuster video. Like they filmed in a Blockbuster or made one, I guess, if they had.
There's no way.
money.
They went to some friend they had and were like, can I film in your Blockbuster this weekend or something? Like, that's what it had to have been.
And you're like, oh, wow. So at first I thought it was going to be some kind of anti-piracy commercial. Like, would you rob a video store? Well, that's the same thing as bootlegging a tape. But no, then it takes a 90-degree turn and it becomes this trailer for this movie called Border Wars. And I'm like, what? And then I looked it up on IMDb, and I swear to God, the synopsis stops mid-sentence. It says, Alex with his crew surely try efforts to protect congressmen and people apart from violent. It stops. That's it. Like somebody was typing it in and then just fell asleep.
And then they died or something.
Holy
like
shit.
in the middle of it.
It reminds me of like Lone Wolf McQuade, the Chuck Norris movie, where he's like a Texas Ranger, like border agent.
Oh yeah.
But the C version of that.
Yeah, it's got the fighting in it. The whole like entire trailer is guns firing over and over again.
And every time there's a cut in the trailer, the music cuts with it.
Yeah. Because they're not crossfading. It's just like,
I love the motorcycle where he like, the guy's on the motorcycle, he knocks him off and then he jumps onto the motorcycle, but it's done so slow and clunky.
Oh, and it's also, this tape, I don't know if it's the tape or otherwise, I tried brightening a lot, but it's dark as shit.
Oh, it's horrible.
You can't see nothing on this fucking tape.
Oh, so even the one you sent me was brightened from what it was?
Yeah, it was worse.
Oh my God.
Even that preview about the baseball bat kid murdering people, most of it you couldn't see anything but a black screen and maybe a face here and there. It was the worst.
Wow. Well, it makes me wonder, the movie Border Wars, whoever was putting together the trailer clearly did not have access to the movie, because usually when you cut a trailer or your movie, you take the music out and then you put the music back in for the trailer, and it's usually even like different music a lot of times. But this is just, it seems like they just took the movie and just did a hack job on it.
A video file of the movie.
So who has it? Like, even the people who made this tape didn't have the movie Border Wars. So how can, didn't have the assets to it. So,
not just that, like this movie, the Y2K Year to Kill, as well as all the trailers and stuff, used so much copywritten. They definitely didn't ask permission to get a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
because I uploaded this thing to like my private YouTube channel. It got like 20 claims on it. You can't use any of the music from this fucking movie, or you'll it's like
music
awful.
from this movie.
Yeah, because it wasn't made originally for it. They just took random.
They must have
songs.
just taken like Napster files like back then because it was 98
wow,
or 99.
that's a perfect time frame for
They
Napster,
probably
too.
did. They probably just downloaded like soundtracks and all that kind of stuff on Napster and just fucking.
Maybe that was the Y2K bug. It was musicians coming down on Napster.
Because
it was
a lot
summer,
Metallica.
No, 2000. It was I Disappeared by Metallica. That video was like in the summer of 2000, I think, or it was definitely that year.
Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah, for Mission Impossible 2, and that's when that whole thing started. It was over that song, apparently.
Yeah, this movie does the thing which I know we've done in the past, where you take a 4:3 movie and you put fake black bars on it to mask it out so it looks widescreen.
Oh, yeah.
The whole movie's like that, but because we can punch past the frame, you can see where they just don't do it anymore, and randomly like a block will cut off because they'll forget.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It looks like they just took black electric tape and
put it over
a camera,
almost, yeah,
and then missed a few parts sometimes.
Oh, wow.
It's really bad.
Yeah, because you can tell because at the very, very, very end there's a after credit sequence to this movie.
Oh,
much
there was?
much
Wow.
like a Marvel film.
We're gonna whomp and stomp and whoop it up tonight. Yeah! They're gonna wowzer. They're gonna love it when we whomp and stomp and whoop it up tonight. Yeah!
So basically the plot, it's a dystopian crime run amok film. So basically like they start off, they say the stock market crashes, electrical blackouts, food prices go up, medicine hard to get, people panic, centers around a group of survivors, and somewhere in there they kind of mention Y2K, but it kind of gets
because it's not like a Tank Girl or a Mad Max or like the Apocalypse, or even Mad Max, like the first one where it's not like that bad yet.
Like it's not apocalyptic, it's dystopian, where like there's still like functioning.
Everyone's
like,
just sad.
But yeah, so it seems to me because there's so much ADR in the movie, like we were just talking about. I think they were working on some random movie. And then they decided, hey, let's make it about Y2K and cash in.
Yeah, because the movie is about shipping and running trucks. It's about capturing like trucks and stealing the supplies and giving them out to people. It's weird.
Yeah, so it's like this could have been anything.
Because Y2K Year to Kill, it sounds like it's going to be like a Purge movie.
Yeah.
But it's just about a group of guys. There's like there's Harvey Danger and his friends.
Yeah, the chubby fedora guy.
Yeah, that's Harvey Danger.
There's the guy with the soul patch mustache combo that always has the gun.
Yeah.
His one friend who wears Jankos and a big jacket all the time, who's like the leader of the gang.
The audio that they shot must have been completely unusable, or it never was intended to be that. So at least to give them credit for like a lot of low budget movies have really shitty audio where like you can't hear it because there's a lot of noise. But this one at least they re-recorded the dialogue because even though it doesn't match up and it still looks bad, at least it sounds clear.
You know, where do you get this stuff? No one can get Mexican beer anymore.
I got a 6-pack waiting for you back here.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Frank, you're such a sweetheart.
I will say I did do audio work on this tape for editing and also so you guys can watch it from the other YouTube link or whatever. Because the music was way higher than it, so I had to like bring other stuff up to make it level.
How are you able to mix audio?
I just hard limited and used a lot of normalizers and stuff and just kind of did that like after the fact. So it kind of worked out.
Yeah, because you obviously didn't have the tracks to the music.
I did not have.
Yes. So
the thing is too, though, this movie tries a lot of things and does them really shitty. Like, there's that one part when they're kind of in the standoff with each other and they're pointing the guns at each other, but they keep it's usually a shot where it's two guys pointing a gun at each other and the camera's spinning around them. But it's two guys pointing guns at each other while they're spinning, and then the camera's trying to spin, but keeps like kind of moving weird and stuff. And it's
we were talking about that in the.
Hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet, but we talk about that in another video that we shot in the same day. I got very confused.
It was like John Woo.
I mentioned that shot of where you always see in movies when they have guns pointed to each other and the camera circles around, and how cliche it was. This movie. definitely was using that cliche for sure.
Because in one, they're moving, which they shouldn't do, and then the camera sometimes moves with them, so it's like the same speed, or sometimes it goes the other direction.
Yeah,
so it's really confusing.
It's just the background whooshing by, and then sometimes the camera's still, and then sometimes it moves the other way. Like, it's all over the damn place.
To go back to Y2K, or to talk about, Y2K and the ADR, my favorite part is when the guy kicks in, they go to some person's house and shoot everyone, and he kicks in this guy who's a computer programmer. He has all these computer programming books behind him. And the guy has an AK-47, and he goes, "Are you Y2K compliant?"
Yeah. Are you Y2K compliant?
It's near the beginning, right?
Yeah. And then he goes, "Are you Y2K okay?" Because I guess these are things that people, like, phrases.
Which is one of, like, 2 or 3 references to Y2K in the movie.
So he's going to kill the computer programmer guy for, I guess, starting it, or just because he feels like he's a crazy person. But his voice sounds just like the voice of the Sicilian in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
It's like, inconceivable!
It sounds exactly
He's
like
like, "Are you Y2K compliant?"
Yeah,
it's
it
terrible.
was really bad. And he's the main bad guy, too, of the movie. So it just doesn't, he's not intimidating. All these people look like the guys in your town that just never really went anywhere.
This is like the bowling alley.
Yeah.
I mean, it really just seems like some, like, bad miracle that we even got this tape.
Yeah,
Because
it really is.
This is a tape, this is something like that, you make with your friends, and, like, it circulates around. So I don't want to knock it because it's clearly low budget.
It was a rental. It was in Albertsons.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a home movie that got lucky and got onto, like, an actual tape with a barcode and
the
everything.
design's cool. It looks like a Matrix thing. Like,
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at this, I had no idea that it was going to be that low budget. So it's kind of just a weirdly marketed type of thing where it's like it really didn't belong to be sold like that.
There were a lot of movies like that. Like, I used to rent movies at Movie Scene in Delaware, and you could always find movies that were like someone local made it and stuff like that. Like, I had these ones called sleazy slashers that were apparently it's this guy in Pennsylvania who passed away. I forget his last name. I think it's like Polonia. They were 2 brothers, but they're from, like, somewhere up in North Pennsylvania, and they're known for making kind of crappy horror movies, and they're hilarious. Like, some of them are really funny, but they're like shot on a camcorder, it looks like.
This was definitely shot in the north somewhere. I'm not sure if it's like a Michigan, Wisconsin, maybe even Toronto thing, but something's going on in this. It's weird, and everyone dresses weird, and they just have a big random group of people. They look like they just grabbed like 10 people from a bowling alley and said, "Let's go." Everyone
is a different cliche.
Yeah.
Like, there's the trench coat guy. There's the one guy looks like Chandler from Friends. His big jacket and baggy jeans.
Yeah.
There's the ninja guy that's in the group. And then there's that part where they do something and they go to a club and they're all dancing around in the club, and the one guy has the nunchucks and stuff, and then one guy's just dancing with
an M60
with a fucking
machine gun.
a heavy machine gun, just like sitting there like dancing around. It's fucking weird.
So many random people and so many random scenes.
Yeah.
This one guy's wearing a Dare shirt at one point, which is kind of funny.
There's a shit story in this movie. Like, the movie takes a pause, and there's like a piano music in the background. Well, as he's talking about this friend who took a shit or something, and he's like, "Yeah, there's this big turd on the side of the seat wedged up in the shape of a butt crack," and he's talking about it, and it's like this, like, kind of like soft, like, sentimental scene. The description doesn't make any sense. It's like a big turd on the side of the seat wedged up in the shape of a butt crack.
I guess, like, the guy shit so much into his own ass crack that it just made like an indentation. Yeah, like a reverse mold of an anus.
Okay, look. This is going in AVGN, and I'm totally quoting and giving credit to Y2K Year to Kill, because that's some stuff I couldn't even come up with.
And we're talking about, like, the music and all the random lines. There's the girl in the movie who turns out to be, like, the love interest / bad guy / also good guy / trucker lady / savior of the people / musician / girl at the bar.
Yeah, she plays that shitty song at the bar.
Yeah, but it sounds like Glycerin from Bush.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
It does. Yeah, I was gonna say it. Yeah.
Appreciation, quiet applause, and a beer.
And it stings like salt in a fresh wound.
which made me feel very 90s about this. Like it definitely puts it into a time capsule. Late 90s, but still. There's a grocery shopping scene where he's pushing the guy in the cart.
That's a fun scene.
Yeah,
Harvey Danger, yeah.
Yeah, it's in slow motion, set to classical music. And it's the smoothest, most professional moving shots of the whole film because they obviously have the camera in like shopping carts as dollies.
Yeah, because sometimes they do that, because sometimes they use vehicles as dollies and it's really bouncy. Like there's chase scenes at the end that do
Well, there's that
stuff.
part too where the part you're saying where they're running and they're running along a group of stores, and you can see the reflection of the car filming them in the reflection of the windows.
The
and
thing
stuff.
is, some scenes in this movie are like okay, that's passable, and some are just dirt shit.
Yeah, there's the part where they're running away from the guy in the car, and they're running through an alley, and it's real foggy, but the lights of the car are coming in. And I was like, wow, this is actually like a good shot. But then it goes to something awful the next scene, and it's like, oh, so did you intend to get this shot, and then you just fucked up afterwards, or did you just get completely lucky with this?
I love the grocery store, going back to that, because they're filling up on, I guess they're going to like steal the groceries. They have a cart full of just old Milwaukee beer, which makes me think that it's in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that, from what I know about Wisconsin, that makes sense. And I figured what would happen is, like, the fatter guy comes over, he's like, do you think I'm fat?
Oh,
do you guys have any Slim Fast?
Yeah.
And he's like taunting them, and then he like
Now be honest now. Be honest.
Yeah. And they always use the same gunfire sound effect where it's like a gun
and then the
shooting
shell.
and then the shell hitting the ground.
Yeah.
But you never see muzzle flashes, like only sometimes.
Yeah,
do you?
yeah. And sometimes there's blood, but they always put it on themselves.
Yeah.
And there's that golfing scene, which I guess is like comedy relief.
Yeah.
And it's
they start sword fighting.
Yeah, there's sword fighting with the golf clubs, and then
what's funny is sometimes there's two guys. One's wearing a blue shirt. One's wearing, I think, a yellow shirt. The yellow guy will go to swing, and it'll cut, and then cut to the blue guy hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Because as if like they edited it wrong. Like they didn't know who was hitting it, and that happens a few times. And I'm like, wait.
I feel like they were like one of those things. Like no one's going to notice this. It's not that big of a deal. And it's like, yeah, no, everyone's going.
It's
to.
experimental.
It's really like, it's very obvious. You don't know what you're doing.
yeah. Then it goes into like a romance subplot.
Oh God.
And then there's like this weird montage stuff where there's the red dress and the black and white scenes.
Oh yeah.
It feels like they took a student film and then just put it in this movie.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of weird like cuts of like they film like there's a part where something's going on, and there's like footage of like a graveyard and then a dead bird and then birds flying, and it's like all these like stupid experimental shots that like they probably
shit.
it was probably someone's demo reel at wherever school they were, and they were like throw these shots in. They're not. When Milwaukee. It's a real bad movie. But it's funny.
So I guess to back up, you have the main characters, the guy and the girl. The girl's trying to help the people, but also the bad guy, and the guy just wants to be with her.
Well, they shoehorn her being a bad guy way late into the movie.
But
and,
like,
that was pretty random.
He's trying to join their gang, but she's pulling out random gang members to do stuff for her, and they start robbing trucks together, but not like it doesn't. It's hard
I think it's like she knows when the trucks are coming.
Yeah.
So she tells them like, hey, the truck's going in this route, blah, blah, blah,
It's fucking,
and then it gets
it's
hit.
Big Rigs the movie, basically.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah.
We talk about the Clerks scene, where it's basically like the movie Clerks. You remember at the end of Clerks where Dante gets shot? In the tournament? It's kind of like that, where he goes to the convenience store and just shoots the guy. If it was in black and white, it just reminds me of.
It's like the fact that it happens out of nowhere, and it's
He's like, you got any ding dongs? He's like, you got any porno magazines?
Hustler magazines? You have any of that Mad Dog 2020?
Yeah, and then I love that guy outside that's like, he's like, I want to go and I have to go buy some smokes for the road. And he's like really badly ADR'd. And the guy's like, sorry, his store's closed. He goes, what? I need to go buy some smokes. I'm just trying to buy some smokes. And he keeps saying it. And then they shoot him eventually. But the wife is like, she like freaks out the second she sees the gun. I mean, somebody would really, but it was probably the only moment where someone acted the way you should have. Yeah.
But then they cut back to Harvey Danger, who's shitting on the toilet, but he's wearing his USA American flag boxer shorts while drinking Mad Dog 2020 while reading the porno mag on the toilet.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like he's pooping, but he's still wearing underwear.
It might go back to that butt crack thing he was talking about.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were talking about.
I don't know.
He shit his own britches.
And then for like the last like 30 minutes of it, it's like this awkward like gun standoff thing where it's like they're just running around corners and with no soundtrack except for these like cheap music loops just
that keep changing too every like few seconds.
It's either dark as shit or bright as possible.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa.
Yeah, well, it's just all it is. It's just people hiding with guns, and it's just like it's so drawn out.
The one thing I love is the main boss guy, who's like joining up with the good guys now. He's like going around corners trying to look like he's all tactical, but he's sticking his head into doors like to see if someone's there. It's like, yeah, that's what you want to do. You're going into a gunfight. You want to stick your head into a door where you don't know if someone's going to shoot you in the fucking face. Like, it was a big mess.
The whole
and then there's all the martial arts, like the really like amateur looking martial arts stuff.
It's whenever he takes the gun, it looks like so awkward when he's like, and he has to like pull it off. It's like not a move. It's just him forcing the gun out of someone's hand.
Yeah, the whole end is chase scenes, double crosses, and you don't know who's on what side anymore because everyone just keeps shooting each other.
Yeah. And then the girl's like, I'm going to go start a new life by taking this river ferry across like...
which of course happens right after she shoots the guy, and it's like, what? Like...
Yeah, like and she gets shot like twice.
So what happens, the main bad guy shoots the girl, and then the main good guy goes to confront him. The main bad guy gets shot by... Wait, fuck.
By her.
Yeah, the bad guy gets shot by her. He shoots him at the same time.
Yeah.
And then she, like, doesn't... Like, she comes over to the guy who's dying and is like, haha, I tricked you, fuck you. But should have just killed him? Because then she walks away from him and she gets shot in the back twice.
And just
survives.
walks it off. Yeah, she doesn't even, like, care.
She was shot 3 times.
Yep.
Lives. Main bad guy gets shot once in the back, dies.
The one thing I don't get is, like, she's like, where are the keys? And they keep, like, asking for the keys and everything. But there's that part right in the beginning of the fight where he tosses them the keys. He has them in his hand and he whips the keys across the truck to the guys. They land on the floor. Then they go on this big chase, and then they're like, "Where are the keys?" And I was like, "Wait, didn't he throw the keys like way at the beginning of this fight? Like, what the hell happened?"
I didn't see that.
I don't know if maybe they were fake or something, but I don't remember them ever saying. He's like, "I threw fake keys" or something. It's like he launches a key ring at them.
Got anything else for this one?
No, but I got some more things to say in general.
Go ahead.
Well, I was looking up information about this movie, and it's so hard to find anything because it's so rare. But while I was looking for it, I found a second Y2K movie, which is also known as Countdown to Chaos. I don't know. There's a Wikipedia page for it.
No.
So there you go. There's another Y2K movie, and then I found yet a third Y2K movie starring Malcolm McDowell, and there's a trailer for it on YouTube.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Wow. I'm surprised there wasn't a big, like, Hollywood A-list celebrity Y2K movie because of how much press
I mean, they did 2012.
They did 2012.
Think they would have done a Y2K.
John Cusack, was it?
Well, from what I've seen, the one with Malcolm McDowell looks the most, like, the biggest budget from what I've seen.
Bigger budget than Y2K Year to Kill?
Yeah, a lot bigger than that. But, I don't know. So look into those, too.
It's like, hello, I'm Malcolm McDowell. It's Y2K.
So there you go. Happy New Year. And guess what we have coming up in January? Well, if you saw our Monster Madness episode where we had a matchup between 2 Nicolas Cage movies, Mandy and 8mm, and just decide which one's the best, well, we're going to do a whole month of it because January is going to be a Nicolas Cage month. We take 2 Nicolas Cage movies every Friday, and 2 movies enter the ring, only one comes out alive. It's Cage Match.